Hello and welcome to my podcast where I'll be talking about a case that I heard about during a talk that I went to with my college at the Harlequin Theatre in Redhill. Now, the whole talk was made possible by a charity called ESTAS, which stands for East Surrey Domestic Abuse Services. They are an independent charity providing outreach and associated services in the borough of Reigate and Banff. Throughout this podcast, I would like to talk more in-depthly about the story that we were told by the two brothers who went through the situation themselves, and to make sure that I do this correctly, I will be reading out certain aspects of an article that they were featured in where they spoke about the story. I'm doing this to make sure that the story is told by me as closely as it can be to the story that we were told at the talk, as I do not want to miss out any vital information that could portray the story in a different way. Now, at the time that the ordeal took place, the family which consisted of the two brothers Luke and Ryan, their younger sister Charlotte, their mother Claire and their father Lance, lived in a house in Lincolnshire in Spalding, which they had lived in for the majority of their family life, and they had lived there for a number of years. However, the two brothers say that the behaviours that led to this situation happening were shown through their father throughout their childhood. However, they themselves say that they did not know that what their father was doing was a form of abuse, as they say that they always thought that abuse was only physical and that it had none of the properties of what their father was showing, as he would, for example, ration away their mother's wages so that she could only have the bare minimum to be able to feed the family, or he did not give her possession of a mobile phone so that she could not contact anybody else other than him when needed. And closer to the time of the situation happening, even when her two sons were abroad, the two brothers' father would only let them FaceTime their mother through him so that he could listen to everything that was being said to their mother by his sons. However, what stuck most with one of the brothers, Luke, was when he was 3 years old, his father fed him a nut which he was highly allergic to in front of his mother to instill, I guess you could say, fear in his mother so that she would do whatever he had asked her to do on that specific occasion. Unbeknown to the whole family, all of Lance's behaviours throughout the years had in fact been a type of abuse called coercive control, which has the definition of an actual pattern of acts of assault, threats, humiliation and intimidation or other abuse that is used to harm, punish or frighten the victim. Unfortunately, this abuse got out of hand just 5 days after Charlotte and Claire had moved out from the family home that they shared with Lance to their own flat in Malton with the help of Luke and Ryan, who had gone home just 5 days previous to the incident, when Charlotte and Claire were coming back into the parking lot of their local swimming pool. As they headed towards their car, they saw a figure crawling out from underneath the car, who they then realised was in fact Lance Park, Claire's husband and Charlotte's father. As they approached him, he pulled out a single barrel shotgun, shooting Claire 3 times, before then shooting Charlotte, and eventually turning the gun on himself. As both brothers were working abroad, they only heard of the news via a news article that popped up on both of their phones, titled Sporting Shooting. However, they could not imagine that it was their father that had done this, as only 5 days previous, as I mentioned before, did the brothers help their sister and mother move into another flat when Lance was at work. However, when they came back to the UK, it was true, and that is when they went to the police station to presumably have statements written, and that is when they saw the poster on coercive control and realised that all along that was unbeknown to them what their father was doing throughout their whole childhood, and it was just something that got really out of control, even when their sister and mother were away from Lance. I now want to share my reactions and feelings towards some of the aspects of the story, such as when Luke got spread that nut by his father to instill some sort of fear in his mother so that she would obey him, and whatever he wanted to be done would be done. I think that it is absolutely horrible to go to such lengths as a father to get your own way and get things done the way that you want them to, and be able to see no other option, because that could have ended horrifically much more worse than what it did end, in which was a near trip to the hospital. I also think it is very controlling, even though I do know that that was probably the aim of what Lance was doing. It is very controlling to isolate someone from their normal everyday activities, such as driving to work or having a mobile phone so she could socialise, or even when talking to her sons, that she had to be monitored by her husband as if they were plotting something against him. I think all of those things are very controlling, and although I do know that that was probably the point of the whole thing for Lance, I still see no reason for it to have ended the way that it did, and I think it got very out of hand, even though it was built up very slowly over the family childhood. And I also believe that maybe the murder that Lance committed was because he felt like he had lost all control of the situation once Claire and Charlotte had moved out, and so this was the only way that he could gain control back, and that's quite drastic, but it's probably the reality of why this story ended the way it did. So that's all I wanted to include in this podcast. I hope you enjoyed, even though it is a very hard subject to listen to. I hope you enjoyed, and thank you for listening. Bye.